So, I want to talk about this movie, Out of Time, starring Denzel Washington. Made in 2003. It's one of his lesser known movies, but in my opinion, it's one of his best. It's one of my favorite Denzel movies. It is definitely a thriller, and it will have you on the edge of your seat from the beginning to the end of it. But I'm not talking about it just to talk about the movie, but to talk about this scene right here, this specific scene. This scene, in my opinion, is one of my favorite scenes because its execution is so brilliant. It is such an amazing conversation between two characters, but the ability of the writers to use subtlety in this discussion is, I think, one of the best displays of subtlety, and one that isn't repeated enough, I think, in cinema. I would love to see more scenes like this because it's so well done. In this scene, the man walks into the bar, and Denzel is already there. He is a detective. The guy who walks in is the husband of the woman that Denzel is sleeping with. He's having an affair with. Now, the guy walks in and he tells him that he saw someone sneaking out of his wife's house, but it was so dark he couldn't make out exactly who it was. And then he proceeds to call the guy a coward, not a real man, because a real man would have stayed and faced him. Now, as this conversation goes on, initially you think that, it's just a guy who's venting about, his problems, his troubles. But very soon after that statement, you start to understand that, no, actually, this guy knows that Denzel is the man who's sleeping with his woman. He knows this. And Denzel knows that he knows this. But neither one of them is playing their hand. They're both playing a game of subtlety. So he says that, and Denzel's like, I don't know, man. Maybe there's nothing that the guy would rather do than to, look in your face and tell you you're a lousy husband and you don't deserve your wife. And, I don't know, maybe she won't let him do it. And it's so, it's so brilliant because they both know who they are. But everything is under the table. Nothing is overt. And it's so brilliantly done that it makes the scene amazing. And nothing tops it off like his last line, where he looks at the dude and he says, "Okay, thanks for the drink. Give your wife my best, if you can." And then walks off. If you can. Oh my goodness. Just rubbing salt in the wound. That scene is amazing. And I wish there was more of that in the studios, in the theater, because that was so brilliantly done. And it hit all of the right notes. I would love to see more, but that scene is something else. Check it out. Out of Time, if you haven't, it's definitely worth it.